Hello, Cancer, and welcome to your reading. This is Bright Soul Collective Tarot. My name is Laura, and these will be your intuitive insights for mid-March into the beginning of April 2023. So this reading will be for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So by all means, if you know your three major placements, you can listen to any and all of the readings that apply, as each one may resonate for you differently. And as always, before we get started, please do keep in mind these readings are general in nature. So that means not all of the details that come through will be for you. It's meant to be applicable to a more broad collective of individuals. So inevitably, there will be details that you may not resonate with. That's why I highly recommend you take anything and everything that does resonate for you, however that might make sense or connect to your personal circumstances. Definitely use your discretion in determining what is best and what you want to apply, how you want to integrate that information, and you can simply leave the rest. So, Cancer, I hope you're doing well. I hope March has been good to you so far. We are right on the verge of spring and we're benefiting from a little more daylight, at least here in the northern hemisphere. So that's really promising. I'm super excited to get into your reading. I've got your oracle message here already. We will pull a little bit of tarot. I'll share a couple of channeled messages I connected with before beginning this reading, and then we'll finish off with a couple of final oracles for some additional insight and advice. So before we get into the cards, I'm just going to take a moment to quickly share with you the channeled energetic impression that I was picking up on as I was preparing for your reading. So the first thing that came through was really kind of interesting because it was giving me like girly energy, like little girl, like, you know, that baby pink, like pastel pink color, lace and frills and dresses and bows, like just like girly energy. So I don't know if you might relate to that. But it's kind of like, you know, like little doll ballerina kind of thing. And the next thing that I was kind of picking up on was the sense of being really straight-laced, like being really firm, really solid, focused, dutiful, you know, like knowing what needs to be done, doing it, you know, checking off all the things on your list, being really organized and all that kind of stuff. And what came up in conjunction with that is it almost feels like there might be a battle between like that part of you that is really like straight-laced and by the book and get things done and be responsible, and then like the inner child that wants to play and be joyful and free of care and responsibility. Because I kind of feel like maybe if you feel as though your comfort zone is in that place where you're being like really practical and grounded and taking care of things and other people, you might have a level of comfort with that energy that causes you to perhaps lean into it a little bit too much. And obviously, I'm not going to tell you what's right for you because only you know. But if it is an easy role for you to fill, you might spend a lot of time in that role and you might be neglecting the parts of you that need attention, like the inner child. Like maybe you're not prioritizing fun and play, you know, spontaneity, like going out and just having fun and being carefree for the sake of it. And so I will remind you that like what came up was the fact that play is practical, right? Play is important. Play needs to be prioritized. It serves a purpose as well. It helps to rejuvenate us. It helps us connect with others, love for ourselves and others. It helps us connect to our creativity and inspiration. And it helps just rejuvenate and balance us out, particularly when we've already got a fair number of adult responsibilities to tend to, right? So if you have a tendency to look at play as though it's just strictly like recreational, it's not necessarily productive or something that needs to be prioritized, then it might be, this might be a good time to kind of change your relationship with that and prioritize playing and just doing things for the sake of enjoyment. And the other energy that I was picking up on was the sense of anticipation. So it could be nervous anticipation, but there's also a lot of excitement and the idea of kind of like, you know, planning and waiting and like just wanting to have everything perfect, right? So Yeah, so it could be, there might be an event that you're looking forward to. Maybe there's something that you're hosting. Maybe there's a new opportunity on the horizon that you're really looking forward to, and you are just like raring to get going, or you're wanting to make sure that you've got everything in order and things are just perfect. But it's like a very wholesome and cute kind of energy. So I like that for you guys. If you relate to that, that's really cute. So we'll get into your cards. So your oracle message for this time period is poised. And it's really neat because like this has the same kind of like girly energy that I was picking up on, but the stuff that I was seeing is like pink lace and flowy fabric and stuff. So the really nice thing about this energy is that this kind of tells me that you're ready, right? Like you're ready, you are in a good position, you have everything that you need to pursue what you're looking to pursue and to be successful. And so I'm going to tell you what this card means, and you may or may not resonate with it immediately. It may be an energy that you would like to connect with. You may already be feeling it. You may be feeling the opposite of it, right? And so if you're not currently even if you're not currently experiencing this energy, the fact that this card is showing up for this time period means that this energy is very much supported. So if you want to connect with that, if you want to start feeling those things, this is a really, really good time to foster those kinds of feelings, to do maybe a little bit of reflection and inner work, because you may find that you can kind of change that around very quickly for yourself. But yeah, so this says like whatever it is, there might be something that you're looking forward to, something that you're working on, or something that you're looking to start, right? You might be starting a new job, a new phase of life, buying a new house, like there's something here that you have the opportunity to start. And this is basically saying like you're in the perfect position to do so. So if there's something that you have been thinking about or kind of preparing to work toward, and you're just kind of waiting to take those first steps or take the leap, or you're kind of in your infancy in terms of doing so, this is definitely validation for you that is highly supported. And it's recognizing that you are in a position where you can move forward with confidence because you do have everything that you need to succeed. And the more that you're able to play into that confidence and to recognize all that you've got on your side that's going to help you get there, the easier it's going to be for you to maintain that energy, as you're moving forward. Because whatever this is for you, inevitably, as things take form or take shape, we might run into snags or changes of plan or, bumps in the road. And this is kind of reminding you that you have everything you need, not only to be successful, but to handle anything that comes your way. So if you're feeling hesitant or you've been putting off starting this particular thing, it's kind of like recognizing this kind of is recognizing for you that the time is now, right? You don't have to wait. You don't have to worry about being qualified enough or having enough resources. And perhaps if you do have any fears around that, it might just be a matter of sitting down and connecting and realizing like, what do you have? What resources do you have? What skills and knowledge do you have? What kind of a support network do you have in terms of people that are on your side or that can help you tackle the challenges that come along? So yeah, it's kind of like you're kind of exalted this month, and so you may be feeling particularly confident, especially if there is change on the horizon, or if there is something new that you're starting or will be starting. It's knowing that if you take time to connect with this energy and to recognize the capability and to recognize all that you've got backing you, you're going to be in a perfect position to move into this role with confidence. You're going to be able to, I don't want to say impress people, because it's not like an ego thing, but I think that, especially if it's related to work or something like entrepreneurial, I think that people are naturally going to be impressed by what you have to offer and what you bring to the table. And I will say, especially if it's like a job, like moving to a new place of employment, or perhaps like a new role, working with different people, or if maybe finally just being in a position where you get to show people what you're made of. Maybe you only had like you were working in a limited capacity and people didn't really get the opportunity to see what you were capable of. And now you're coming into a time where it's your time to shine. Your skills are being showcased and highlighted, and people are going to be starting to take notice, right? So it's like it's your time to shine, to be like in your comfort zone, to be where you're confident, doing things that you know that you can succeed at. And that's really awesome. And the thing is, especially if where you have been in the past or up until now, if perhaps people didn't recognize or value your strengths, and that left you kind of questioning yourself or feeling a little bit of doubt, this may be a really kind of beautiful opportunity for almost redemption, right? Because it's about aligning with opportunities and people that gave you the opportunity to shine. They gave you that space and they're ready to receive it, and they're ready, it's like a mutually beneficial thing, right? So that's really, really nice. It's kind of like whatever it is that you've got on the go, or whatever it is that you're taking your next steps on. This is really auspicious. This is a great time to start something new with the confidence that you've got it. Like you've got it in the bag and you're going to do well. And obviously, like, not to give you a big head, like we don't want to get ego involved in this, because that can kind of take us off the path of authentic self-expression. And that's what this is all related to, right? Is that when you're poised for like success, to kind of like have that, secure that win, this is about you being in your authentic energy, right? Recognizing your strengths, recognizing what you have to offer, allowing yourself to play that role and take that action and to shine that light and to be seen and received on that level, not for recognition and not to like one up somebody else, but because this is like the gift, this is the skill, this is what you have to offer, right? And by sharing that, you benefit and others benefit as well. And this could be in a like a purely practical sense in terms of work responsibilities, and it could be like even in your interactions with people, what you offer them. So yeah, this is like a really, I don't know, it's a really promising card. It makes me happy. And even in terms of like relationships, it's basically saying like you have the opportunity to benefit from a lot of confidence, self-assuredness, like feeling comfortable in your skin. And like that is what kind of elevates you in terms of your relationships, because you have to have that level of confidence and self-assuredness to be able to love and accept yourself deeply, in order to engage in a deeper and more meaningful level of love with other individuals, right? So that unconditional love for yourself, it's very difficult to extend that to someone else if you haven't cultivated that for yourself too. So you may be benefiting from an improved relationship with yourself, perhaps especially if you've been doing any kind of personal development when it comes to your self-image, your beliefs and your perceptions about yourself, your worth, your abilities, your attractiveness, all of that kind of stuff. If you have been working on it, then, maybe this is your time to shine and to start reaping the benefits of being in that, genuine, authentic, confident energy. And the lovely thing is showing up in that energy and setting that example. We see a lot of examples of egotistical confidence and like fake it till you make it kind of stuff. And so when somebody is just genuinely like in the zone, right? Like they are comfortable in their own skin, they are capable and effective and confident in their ability to like do whatever it is that they're doing, that is a completely different energy. And we don't see that. We don't experience that with other people as often. We don't see those examples. And so it's not only important for you, but I think it's also kind of shines a light for other people to see what it looks like to just be a calm, grounded, and confident individual, not driven by ego, right? Not looking to impress, but just killing it because that's what comes naturally to you. So it's a good month also for connections, love, friendship. There's a lot of harmony for you to benefit from. And like I said, even if you aren't currently in this energy or experiencing this, or maybe you're in the opposite of it, it's saying this energy is highlighted, right? So there's opportunity for you to work through that and connect to it if it's something that you're interested in doing. But obviously that's a decision that's up to you, right? So, if you have some insecurities, or you have some issues that you want to start working through, or you want to start developing your relationship with yourself, this might be a good time to kind of foster and bolster that confidence. Look for reasons, look for your strengths, what you have to offer, and remind yourself of who you really are, right? Instead of getting carried away with other people's thoughts and opinions, or the fear and anxiety that you have about not being enough. Like, this is a really wonderful time to work through anything that might be holding you back. All right, and I'm just looking to see if there's anything I missed. And the other thing with this is, it's also important to know, when you're ready, but also know when you're not. So if you're in a position where something doesn't feel aligned, you don't feel ready to kind of pull the trigger, it's best to honor that, right? Because you don't want to commit yourself to something that you're not prepared or able to deliver on, and then put yourself through the stress of that, ultimately end up not delivering, and disappointing another person. So it's it's better to say no, or to postpone until you're feeling ready, than to, jump the gun and wish that you had postponed, right? Wish that you hadn't been put in that position. So that's just something to be aware of. We are going to get you some tarot cards. But yeah, I really do like this energy for you guys, especially if this is something that you have been working on connecting with specifically. Okay, so your first card for this month is the Page of Wands. I like it. This is a very similar vibe. Your second card is the Nine of Pentacles. And your third card is the Seven of Wands. And this actually goes really nicely, this little progression here. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Three of Cups. And so interesting, with this poised energy being here, the Three of Cups at the bottom of the deck is the underlying energy that's kind of informing what's going on here. So this could be recent, past, this could be something that you're still dealing with, but this is a card of friendship, connection, community, celebration, sharing of, thoughts and feelings, just those really kind of meaningful connections that bring us a sense of joy and satisfaction. So perhaps that has been what has kind of alchemized this preparedness. Maybe you've got a really wonderful, loving network of people who see you and support you and encourage you and love you, and kind of have given you that space to work through and to get yourself to a position where you were just in a prime spot to succeed. I don't know if that might kind of resonate for you, or if it could be that kind of celebration and those relationships that have inspired you to kind of take these, next steps for yourself. But that's really neat. So your first card, the Page of Wands, is showing up as what you need to know. And this is all about embracing your authenticity. Embracing your authenticity, connecting to your passion and inspiration, and expressing that authentically and fearlessly. So it's just the things that light you up, the things that make you excited, the things that you have to offer, right? That are uniquely you. It's embracing them and taking those first kind of steps on the journey of what it looks like to live in that energy, to live and live out that inspiration and express yourself in a way that's uninhibited, right? So you're not going to be putting any expectations on yourself in terms of, how you have to look, how you have to act, what you have to do. It's not about boxing yourself in or worrying about what other people think or expect. It's recognizing that your strength is your unique authenticity, the things that inspire you, the things that light you up. That's what makes you successful, right? And that's what makes you poised to, take the win and to succeed, right? And that is uniquely yours. It's not something that anyone can do for you. It's not something that can be controlled by anyone else, and it can't be replicated either. So it's kind of like this unique, enthusiastic thumbprint of who you are, what you do, and how you have to offer. And especially if you're someone who has been a little bit shy or reserved, or who has been really prone to, maybe playing small or dampening yourself for fear that people are not going to understand you or accept you, or fear of what other people might think. You're being encouraged to really, really start stepping into this unapologetic energy. And it can feel foreign, especially if you're a quiet, more reserved person. And it's not an obnoxious energy, right? It's not demonstrative in the sense that it's like, hey, look at me, I'm putting on a show. This is just a very authentic energy. Like, you know what? I'm going to be myself. I am going to do the things that I like to do. I'm going to, I'm going to share my sense of humor with people. Obviously, we don't want to do things that are going to be really hurtful or offensive, but that's not this energy anyways. But this is just allowing yourself to do what feels good and to be who you are without trying to self-censor because you're afraid that people aren't going to receive your light. This is shining the light anyway and trusting that, if you're just being your authentic self, your best self, right? You're, living this inspired life and you're expressing that to other people. The people who don't align with that, and there will be people, that's okay, right? Because those people are not necessarily meant to be with you on the path. They're not necessarily the ones to partner with or to support you. And it's better to know that now, so that by shining this light, yeah, you may repel some people, but the people that you repel are ultimately not people that are into that, right? And so you don't want them around anyways. But by shining that light, it is going to act as a beacon for people who are looking to connect with that energy, who appreciate that energy and those skills, and who share similar values. So there is an opportunity to it may feel a little bit demonstrative in that you're putting yourself out there and doing something that feels a little bit, you might feel a little bit silly. You might feel a little bit vulnerable and exposed because you're used to kind of playing small or just hiding and staying quiet, not letting people see the real you. But the more that you can kind of get into that uncomfortable energy, the less uncomfortable it becomes, right? Because you become used to expressing yourself, and you realize that when you start to enter that genuine self-expression, the fears that you had about not being accepted, you realize that they were, mostly just fears, right? And it's easier to see the rewards of expressing that energy and being yourself when you start doing it. So it becomes less scary. And the thing is, you can see she's focused on her wand. This is her light, her inspiration, her passion, the things that excite her. And she's dancing, and she's not looking for anyone else to be watching her. She's not worrying about what she looks like. She's just kind of in the moment doing her own thing. And I think that is what is going to help you capitalize on this confidence that's available to you, because it's like you've got the skills, you've got the tools, you've got the resources, you've got the confidence. And if you can just kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? If you can just kind of harness all of those and move forward, then it's going to potentially open up a lot of doors, right? Or it may just be, amplifying what you're already experiencing. And the interesting thing here is that the Nine of Pentacles is showing up as your challenge. And the Nine of Pentacles is a very solid, stable, independent, self-sufficient energy. So a lot of readers that I see, they call this Beyonce, the single lady card, right? So it's kind of like she's capable of doing it for herself. She can provide for herself. She's comfortable, maybe So this could be anything relating to material stability. So it could be, like having your own place, having a good job, making a good salary, having a good level of savings. This is the energy that you are somebody who can provide, right? Like you can do the work, put the effort in, and you can see the results of that work in terms of material manifestation, whether it be money, material items, just stability in your material life, like home, family, career, finance, health, that kind of stuff. And so the thing is that this energy is very confident, it's very capable, and there's also a lot of self-assuredness, but there's also a lot of gratitude because it's recognizing the abundance that you've been able to cultivate. So it's like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I have the skills. I put the work in and I get paid, right? And it's like, I'm appreciative of all that I've been able to do because not only does it benefit me in a practical, material way, but it's evidence of my strength. It's evidence of my hard work. It's evidence of my capability. And these are all things that I get to feel good about. And so since this is showing up as your challenge, maybe this is an energy that you have a difficult time connecting with, right? Maybe you don't hype yourself up in terms of like just how hard you work or just how much knowledge and skill you have, just how much you accomplish, just how much you've been able to do for yourself. Maybe like what kind of job you've been able to secure, how much money you've been able to make. Like this is kind of saying like recognize all that you've achieved, recognize all the work that you've put in to get here, and allow yourself to feel confident, right? Because especially if you've got the evidence that you're like, and you don't have to be female, but it's like you've got the evidence that you're a bad bitch and you're putting in the work and you've got the stability to prove that. So if it's materialized in your physical environment, why aren't you allowing yourself to feel good about it? Why aren't you recognizing that like you did that, right? And not only did you do that, but you can continue to, you can do more, right? So perhaps the material, financial, abundance and stability side of things may be the thing that kind of gets in the back of your head. That might be the thing that kind of disrupts your confidence or your self-assuredness and makes you feel like you're not poised and ready to strike and succeed, right? So I kind of get the sense that you may underestimate yourself, your ability to cultivate abundance, your ability to create that stability for yourself. To create that stability for yourself. And who knows where that comes from? That may come from, someone telling you that, or perhaps you were raised to be overly fearful about money, having enough money, having a good enough job. So it could be something generational that was kind of ingrained in you, but it's recognizing that having fear or insecurity about lack or your ability to kind of create a stable life and to provide for yourself is not going to help you, right? It's not going to help you succeed. And so it's like, if you can kind of like flip the script on that narrative and start to empower yourself and recognize all that you're capable of, if you've done this much with doubts and fears and limitations, on your back, how much more are you capable of if you release those and you empower yourself to recognize your strength and like hit your potential, right? And I think that's what this is about. This whole poise thing is, it's like you've got a lot to offer, and maybe you've been really successful and you haven't even shown them what you're working with yet. And this is about hitting your potential and just kind of like getting to that next level. And your advice in terms of overcoming this challenge is showing up as the 7 of Wands. So this is getting you back into that inspiration, that passion, that creativity, that heart-centered energy that's calling to us. This is also very much about intuition and what we feel to be right for us, right? So it's kind of like having that connection to kind of keep you grounded and motivated. But the 7 of Wands is often a card of it. It can be conflict, It can be people like poking at you, people undermining you. And this doesn't have to be external. It can be. So it can be other individuals that maybe like see your strength and your skill and your success and are perhaps jealous, and they might be trying to sabotage or interfere. They might be trying to like knock you off your game. They might be trying to introduce doubt or to get you to question yourself and your abilities. They might be trying to block you from opportunities. So it's like in the workplace, it could be a person who is like competing for the same job that's trying to like prevent you from being promoted, or that's always trying to, you know, like outdo you and make you look worse. But this can also be like our own thoughts, right? So whatever fear we have, whatever insecurities we have that can kind of make their way in and kind of crack that foundation, that's like these wands jabbing at you, right? So whether it's beliefs that you had ingrained in you that are subconsciously holding you back that need to come to light so you can work through them or release them. This is all about having that inner stability, that inner confidence and belief in yourself, an ability to work through your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions, to know what is right for you, to know what your strengths are and what you're working with, and to make empowered decisions about how you're going to move forward and handle things. And basically, if you take that time to know yourself and to check in with yourself and to have that personal integrity, right? Like this authenticity, being authentic, being true to yourself, not only in terms of your relationship with yourself, but in terms of making sure that's in alignment with your thoughts, feelings, and actions and what you're putting out into the world. And when you've got that inner landscape of peace and clarity and knowledge of self, nothing in your external circumstance can knock you off your game, right? No one and nothing, right? It's kind of like people can't make you feel inferior without your consent, but that goes for you too, right? Like you can't talk down to yourself without your consent. And at any time, if you find yourself falling into a bad habit or a limiting belief, as soon as you recognize, you can interrupt it. So meditation might be something that's beneficial for you in terms of cultivating that inner peace, having this kind of calm, protective space that you can return to regardless of what's going on in your external environment or what kind of obstacles might be poking at you. Because this is saying like you have the power, right? So and the thing is, like, whoever or whatever is trying to knock you down, it's already, you're already kind of beyond that, right? So like if it's a person, for example, that person is trying to knock you off your pedestal, right? So they're already at a disadvantage. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to retaliate. You don't have to fight. You don't have to go to that level because you've moved beyond that, right? And so it's about having your eye on the prize and what's right for you, and letting those little things just kind of pass you by like the wind by your ear kind of thing. And having that inner peace is what's going to help you maintain your confidence, and maintain this poise so that you can move forward in a way that you feel confident about and you can benefit from that. And you don't have to give your power away to people who are, maybe have less than kind intentions, who are struggling in their own right. And you don't have to give your power away to any kind of fear or limiting beliefs, right? And obviously, like, we're human, we're still going to have them and they're going to come up. But this is about having the space to retreat to kind of process, like, what am I feeling? Why am I scared? Why do I feel like I can't handle this? What is that connected to? Is that what I truly believe, or is this just a fear that has crept in? How do I want to affirm myself? So it might be a sense of like being able to affirm that for yourself and validate yourself, or getting a perspective from somebody who can help remind you who you are if you're in a period of self-doubt. But yeah, it's like there's a lot of opportunity for you to just overcome. And I see like authentic self-expression and confidence and just a sense of inner peace, like who you are and what you have to offer, and no one's gonna disrupt that but you, right? So you're the one who kind of gets to decide what you allow into your energy, what you allow to impact you emotionally and mentally. And I kind of see you maybe putting up some boundaries, but being a lot more discerning as to who you're interacting with and what you're allowing to impact you, so that you can make the most use of your energy and you can stay in a place of confidence where you're able to do your best work, right? So that is really awesome energy. I'm going to take a quick moment to share with you the few channeled messages that I got before I started your reading, and then we will finish off with a couple of final oracles. So the first message that came through is really strange, is Ovaltine, which is like a warm drink. I think it's like a malt-based beverage. I'm pretty sure people use it as kind of like a coffee replacement. I personally have never had it, but like when it came through, I could just see the bottle and I could see the yellow label in my mind's eye. And so, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you drink Ovaltine. Maybe you're using it as a coffee replacement. Maybe you have some kind of connection to that. And also with Ovaltine, there's like grandma/grandpa that came through. So there may be a connection to like a grandparent also. I would be so curious if that resonates for you, because that was like way out of left field. The second message that came through was exciting developments. So I got the sense of like a shift, change, a new opportunity, perhaps new information. So something kind of like new and exciting, potentially unexpected, that, yeah, maybe there's an opportunity, maybe there's a door opening, but however that might pan out for you, maybe there's a lot coming, or maybe there's something on the horizon that you're waiting on. And then the last thing that came through was Oktoberfest, which is kind of interesting. So obviously I got the connection to German culture, German heritage. Perhaps you have a connection to that. Perhaps you have a connection to Oktoberfest specifically, or that's something that you've been interested in doing or experiencing. So I know there's one like where we are locally, there are like Oktoberfest celebrations, but then you may actually want to go to Germany to celebrate. So I don't know, maybe that's been on the table. Maybe it's something you're thinking about. Maybe this is just an introduction for you if you have an interest in beer and bratwurst. But that was your final message. And so now I'm going to get you a couple of final oracle messages just to tie everything together and see if there's any more insight or advice in terms of this specific reading, how we can integrate it, anything else you might benefit from knowing. Okay. Oh, I don't think I've gotten this one out before. So your crystal spirit is Smithsonite. So I'm just going to read this from the book. That's number 51. Move this up a little bit. Okay, 51. So Smithsonite, essential meanings: rebirth from chaos, evolution, stress relief, emotional boost, clearing of obstacles to growth. From here, there can be a rocky road, one that may even seem to move under your feet as you engage in a process of healing with roiling emotions. The journey can be confusing and unsettling and can cause you to want to beat a hasty retreat, but Smithsonite Spirit's message is clear as can be. You are haltingly moving forward into creating something new. If you feel as if you're unsteady and even going a little backward at times, it is only because you are being asked to look at the past and the lessons learned so that your next steps can be sure and steady. The ground is firm beneath you, the wind at your back, and the conscious universe is beside you, so there is no need to look for what may seem to be safer ground. The landscape around you is changing, you are changing, and soon you will feel much more settled. If you heed the call of Smithsonite Spirit and trust that you'll be just fine. The landscape around you is changing, you are changing, and soon you will feel much more settled if you heed the call of Smithsonite Spirit and trust that you'll be just fine. So breathe. It's all going to resolve soon, and the obstacles you find daunting will disappear. There's a relationship message. You are evolving, and the confusion will lift as you breathe and listen to the message of Smithsonite Spirit. Even when you are leading your partner in dance, there will be times when it seems you are stumbling backward or twirling in the air. You feel unsure as of where the ground is and whether you are about to fall or not. In every relationship, evolution is necessary at times, for circumstances always change. You must become the person you need to be so that the intimacy and friendship can weather the inevitable storms and grow even stronger. Put one foot forward and twirl away without fear, for soon your gaze will meet your partner's and you will see eye to eye on what is most important. Then the right next step will become clear. And then prosperity. Every creature on earth experiences growth spurts. Could you be in one now? Could it be that the ups and downs in your sense of prosperity reflect that you are maturing into someone new who is more comfortable with the fluctuations of wealth in the outer world because you have become more at peace with the natural flow of abundance and are feeling prosperous within? We invest in and plant seeds. We nourish and tend. We harvest and enjoy the bounty that is ours and then start the cycle all over again, imagining what comes next. Have faith in the cycle, for the support of the conscious universe, your ally in co-creation, is the firm foundation beneath you. Feel encouragement from the conscious universe being conveyed to you through Smithsonite spirit, whose message is this: you have what you need in this moment and more is coming, so breathe. And that's what this card is all about. You have what you need. Maybe you're questioning yourself. And then meditation. Smithsonite is incredibly useful in calming emotions. It comes in a wide range of colors, each with a slightly different vibration, but all working directly on the emotional body. Meditation with this stone soothes and brings peace, allowing us to disconnect from specific perceptions and explore different perspectives. So yeah, in terms of this idea that it's a good time to start something new and you have everything you need to be successful, if you are struggling with that idea, if that doesn't feel like it's true and you're feeling a little bit of fear or hesitance, there may very well be some healing that needs to be done, right? In terms of your relationship to yourself, your beliefs about yourself. And your ability to succeed. So this is basically saying you're in a really supported time to do this work and to connect with those energies, because there's more out there for you, and you're in a perfect position to move in that direction. It's just a matter of coming to realize and believe that for yourself. And you can't make this up. Your final oracle message is play. Have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. What was I saying about play and inner child? And maybe you're putting too much pressure on yourself to be practical and dutiful, not necessarily making enough time for play. And maybe play is what is going to help you to feel relaxed and confident and to recognize, right? Because when we're in the grind all the time and we're just constantly crossing things off the list and being productive, sometimes what happens is we become numb to just how capable we are and just how much we work, and we don't see any of our abilities as a result. And sometimes it's not until we kind of loosen up and, get out of that perspective where we're maybe just a little bit too close to it that we can see, like, getting out of that energy of work, you realize like how much you're capable of, how much you do, right? So that could be good in terms of giving you a little bit more perspective. So I'm just going to look in the book here what it says for play. So have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. Stop taking life so seriously. Your spirit needs to have some fun. The more you play, the more inspiration will follow. Take some time out to do something without being attached to the outcome. You are being called to rest and play and learn to have more fun. Do something that makes you laugh, the best medicine around. Call up a friend that you can be silly with. Take your inner child on a date. The more you switch off your mind, the more room your spirit has to whisper and guide. When we do things without being attached to the outcome, ideas, clarity, guidance, and solutions have the space to drop in. The left and right hemispheres of the brain can begin talking to each other. Make play a compulsory part of your day. Schedule it. Spend more time doing things just because you love to do them, just because they bring you joy and light you up. If you follow what lights you up, you will light the world without even trying. For when you are lit up, you are in your spirit. And when you are in your spirit, you will fall and flow with life. How do you play? What do you do to have fun? What lights you up? If you have been working hard lately, it's time to celebrate how far you have come, all that you've achieved. Don't rush on to the next thing. Take a moment to throw a party, go on a vacation, or have some fun. And there's an action that goes along with this card, and it says, have more fun, play more, celebrate your achievements. Yeah, so that's That's actually really interesting, right? So it's basically saying, like, when we're in a position where we're constantly working and being practical and getting things done, it's kind of like the monkey mind. Like, our thoughts can get away from us. And sometimes it's just being in a place of rest and play and not having an agenda, not having a desired outcome, but just being in the moment, that we can kind of quiet things down. And that gives our intuition the opportunity to speak to us, right? Whereas when we're always doing, it's hard to be. Right? So when we're always doing, it's really, really hard for those little bits of inner wisdom to come through, because we've got so much just piled on top of it. Whereas when we can be in the present moment, get into our bodies, which play is a really great way to do, it kind of quiets the mind, slows everything down, and it makes you a little bit more open to like what it is that your intuition or your inner wisdom is trying to tell you or guide you toward. So that's really nice. I'm going to get you a couple affirmations. They may be helpful to you right now, or as the month progresses, maybe on a daily basis. I'm just going to throw them out there, and yeah, it might be something worth returning to if you feel they will be helpful. Okay. So your first is, I let go and allow the universe to do her thing. So it's kind of like getting in the flow, releasing attachment to outcomes. When I shine bright, I give others permission to shine with me. That's exactly what I was saying here, right? Leading by example, shining that light, trusting that the people who aren't aligned will fall away, and that's what's best. And you're going to bring in people who are looking for that light and lead by example, showing them how to, like, a new way of approaching things. And then we have, whenever I compare myself to others, I simply say this prayer: the light I see in them is a reflection of my inner light. Yeah, so if ever like fear or doubt or insecurity steps in, especially in comparison to other people, especially if you've got people that are kind of like poking at you or trying to get you to question yourself, it's a reminder that the good that we see in others, we only see it because we identify with that energy, and that is within us. Whether or not we recognize it's within us and cultivate that and express that or not is one thing, but anything that we see in another, we already have that capability. It's already within us, and simply by focusing on it and embracing it, we can, cultivate more of it, right? And so, sometimes we look at other people and we see what they have and we feel as though we're lacking. And this is a reminder that if you see anything, that you like in other people, particularly if it's in a situation where you put them above you or you find yourself to be lacking in comparison to them, it's reminding you that you have what they have. You may just not be embracing it and expressing it. And that is a decision that you can make for yourself at any time. So, yeah, the good that you see in others is the good that's already within you, and you can connect to that more deeply if you so desire. So Cancer, that is your reading. I'm going to leave it here. I hope that it was helpful. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did enjoy or found this to be helpful in any way, the best way to support me is to like this video on YouTube. You can even leave me a comment. Let me know what you think or how it resonated. Beyond that, if there's anyone you could think of that might be interested in my readings, you can feel free to share my channel or my content with them. And if you haven't already, you can head over to my channel at Bright Soul Collective Tarot. Make sure you're not only subscribed to the channel, but also signed up for notifications, which is the little bell icon, and that will keep you up to date on new readings as they're posted. So Cancer, I hope that the rest of March treats you well. This is a really lovely energy. I'm like rooting for you guys. So excited to see what comes up for you next month. It's been an absolute pleasure to read for you. I'm looking forward to connecting again in the future. And in the meantime, I'm wishing you all the very best.